All right. He did it. He did it. He pulled the trigger, man. He requested a trade. Brandon Aiyuk requests a trade from the 49ers. It's official. And you know what? My first reaction to this is part of negotiations. This is just part of the process. To be honest, we already knew that Brandon Aiyuk was willing or wanting to play for another team, such as the Commanders with his best friend Jaden Daniels. We already knew that he was interested in playing for the Steelers. You know, we already knew like this was going to happen almost closer we got to training camp. That's just part of the process. Especially for wide receivers, they do this all the time. It's very common. But just back to it. What really gets people all alert is the fact that it's a new thing. It's new evidence that, hey, I want out kind of deal. Makes it more real. But it doesn't make it any different than any other time with any other wide receiver where they request a trade. This is honestly just part of the process, especially when you get closer to training camp. But shake it off, guys. You know, Brandon Aiyuk does he make the team better? Yes, he does. Does he deserve A.J. Brown, J.J. Jefferson range money? No, he does not. He is the best blocking wide receiver in the league that I could think of. If not, Juwan Jennings is, but he's definitely a second one. I just think that Brandon Aiyuk is valuable in that sense, that he can block, that with outside of this whole contract situation, he's never been vocal about, hey, I don't get enough catches or anything like that. So he's actually a very good locker room guy. He's just not a good off-season, want a new contract guy. Personally, I would like to keep him. I do think that he's between a top 10, top 15-ish wide receiver, and he deserves to get paid. Honestly, he should be happy with Amon-Ra St. Brown money. That exact contract, he should be like, okay, I want that exact one. That, I think, is enough. I think that's as far as you should go if I'm the 49ers GM. I would pay that. That's the most I'll pay. He doesn't deserve $30 million plus or anything like that. That is insane, okay? You're not even a top 10 wide receiver. You can't be doing that. So if they cave and paid him that much, that would be bad. I don't think they should do that. We have to realize they also brought it upon themselves because they should have paid him sooner, and they didn't do it. They waited and they waited. But apparently there was an opportunity. There was a time where Brandon Aiyuk was about to sign a contract, was like getting very close, but new wide receivers were getting paid, and that's what changed the game. So how the 49ers lost here was that they just didn't pay him in time, even though they were coming close. That's my best justification for us being in this situation. But it is definitely an L for the front office if he ends up getting traded. The only way you can justify it is by not paying him that big not justify it, but the only thing you can make it better or soften the blow is to not pay him $30+ million. Do not trade him for just picks. He is still on contract. He's still $14.1 million to play this year. So he's still a 49er. So it's not like he's franchise tagged or anything. It's just he wants a new contract. One has to give, I believe. If we trade him, I think we should trade him to we could trade him to the Commanders. I don't mind trading him to the Commanders. Adam Peters is a great guy. You know, from what I hear, he's a great assistant GM. He'll take care of him. And it's not like we don't like Aiyuk. He was a very good guy for us in the locker room. He did his job well. He was a blocker, you know, top 10-ish, 15-ish wide receiver. He was a good player, you know. The only thing that makes him look bad is just this offseason, these optics. So I still wish him the best. So Commanders, play with your best friend. I don't mind. Carolina, if you have to, but that would look bad. But you know Carolina would be able to pay him, and we'd probably be able to get a player from him, to be honest. And we got to trade him to AFC, if not those teams. You can't trade him to a team that's a contender. You cannot trade him to a team that you're going to play this season. You can't do it because you don't want to suffer the repercussions if he turns out to just burn you that week, because that would look bad. I think personally, trade him to one of those teams, Commanders, where he wants to go, AFC, anywhere. do not trade him to the Steelers. I just don't believe in that wide receiver core. I truly believe they have like somewhat of a curse on their core. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think he'll be traded. If he does get traded, then where do you think he will go? Where do you want to see him? Yeah, this is crazy. Just another step in the contract negotiations, and we'll see where it goes. Anyway, guys, all love. See you later.